right, thanks. Hi, I'm Dustin Bouch. This is Tyler Gilbert and Larry Larson, and we are Fogo Digital. This is Red Rock Canyon. I've spent countless hours exploring these beautiful cliffs and trails. If you have a chance to visit this magical place while you're here in Vegas, I highly recommend it. However, if you decide to go hiking, it's important to be prepared. It's easy to get lost if you're not. The National Park Service reported over 2,000 search and rescue missions last year with 148 fatalities. What do the experts recommend to avoid getting lost? A flashlight, a two-way radio, and a GPS receiver. It seems simple, but the problem is most hikers don't bring these devices with them. They occupy precious space in their pack, and they're a pain to individually charge. A lot of hikers think their smartphone will do the trick, but smartphones aren't waterproof or durable, work effectively off the grid, and the batteries are always dying on us. The solution is the Fogo. We are excited to announce that we've created a device that combines a flashlight, a walkie-talkie, and a GPS receiver in one. The Fogo is a smart flashlight. The Fogo is a smart flashlight that allows you to do a lot of great things. Now, having all these devices in one not only solves the space, weight, and inconvenience problems, but the Fogo uses these technologies together to do things you couldn't do before. So we're going to show you a couple of examples of just a few of the applications that we've created so far. Now, the hiker that just thought they were out for a short day hike can easily find themselves out after the sun goes down. When navigating at night, you want a powerful beam of light to illuminate your surroundings. Fortunately, we got another one. But when you aim the beam at the ground in front of you to avoid from tripping, you want a dimmer beam that doesn't blind you. The Fogo sensors intelligently adjust this brightness. This video shows what that looks like on a screen on a dark trail. You can see when the hiker points the flashlight up, it's a dark, powerful beam. When he points it down at the ground, the Fogo automatically dims the light to reduce the reflections. Now, the Fogo can also use the GPS and the flashlight together to help guide the hiker from waypoint to waypoint by blinking the light to indicate when he's off track. So this video here shows that application on a dark trail as well. So you can see as the hiker's headed straight to his next waypoint, the flashlight outputs a steady beam of light, but as he gets off track, it starts to blink and sends him right back on track. Now this right here is that digital compass on the Fogo screen.
And so now we're going to get into the Fogo operating system. We're able to switch apps, and we'll look at just kind of see how the operating system works. Here's some apps. Don't have time for that right now, so we'll look at the tracking app. This is for activity tracking and logging internally. And this is using the digital radio to see what's going on with your friends around you. And you can send them a quick text message, say hi, see what's going on. So I mentioned the digital radio. With the digital radio and the GPS, Fogo can also keep you aware of what's going on around you, which enhances the safety. So if you're out on the trail with some hikers and bikers and somebody's getting too far ahead or falling too far behind, with the digital radio and the GPS, you can be aware of that. And with the motion sensors in the Fogo, we can actually detect if somebody crashes, and that can automatically send out a radio beacon. So the digital radio is a smart cap. It's a separate module that screws onto the back. It uses our smart cap interface, and we're really excited about the many possibilities and applications we can use to adapt the Fogo, use the smart cap to adapt the Fogo. For example, the Fogo could also serve as a scuba diving light if we have a scuba dive smart cap that integrates with scuba systems, or if we have an avalanche beacon, that can be great for snowmobilers and backcountry skiers. You can also have a lot of fun with the Fogo. It's not just to stay safe. With the Bluetooth, we can integrate with bike sensors, heart rate monitors, power meters. And now we'll focus on a video here when we're actually out on the trail. We have an adapter for the Fogo so we can mount on the handlebars. And as we're riding during the daytime, it's essentially a tracking computer. It's logging your data, tracking your ride. And then at nighttime, it can also double as a bike light, and it's got the crash detection as well. So you finish your ride, and then you can also use the Bluetooth to pair up with your smartphone, and then you upload that ride to Strava or Map My Ride or your favorite activity tracking site. And the SmartCap interface is a USB form factor. You can see that here. But that also allows us to go out and charge other USB devices, such as your smartphone and your GoPro. So if you're out for a day filming with GoPro, that battery, it can use a boost. And the final thing I want to talk about, and what we're most excited about, is the apps. So like your smartphone runs apps, we run apps right on the Fogo. And we will be releasing a Fogo SDK with launch, so that essentially anybody can create apps. And we're excited about possibilities for companies that want to engage with their users when they're beyond cell phone coverage. So if we take Strava, many times the iPhone's either in your backpack or back in the car because they don't have coverage. But then they can tailor the bike computer experience directly to their users. We will be launching a crowdfunding campaign in just a few weeks. We're bootstrapped, so that's the method we're going with. So we would really love if everybody could go check our website, fogo.io, sign up for our list, and we'll get you an email right when we launch so you can get in on those early backer rewards. Thank you.
Great. Awesome. Who wants to go get lost in the woods? Nobody? All right.
I'm up for roaming around, though.
That's great.
Tell me
Okay.
more about the kind of inter-device communication, and basically, if I get lost in the woods, how does this help me beyond the flashlight?
So we use essentially a similar radio that's in like a Motorola digital two-way radio, and we'll use encoded voice, but it'll be a point-to-point, or you got to be within range with this smart cap. So it'll work much like a digital walkie-talkie, like the Motorola would sell, and it's similar frequency.
How much do you expect it to cost?
For our crowdfunding campaign, we'll launch the base model, which won't have the Bluetooth or the GPS, so it'll be a flashlight, USB backup battery at $200, and we'll go up from there to $400 for the whole package.
Cool. How long is the battery life?
The flashlight's 1,000 lumens, so if you have that on full blast, you're about 2 hours.
Okay.
And then just running the electronics, you're probably a week plus.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about, how much are people kind of spending on all that other equipment versus just moving to their iPhone? Because $200 to $400 is still pretty hefty to pay for kind of any sort of accessory like that.
Yeah, well, if you look at what people spend on normal outdoor gadgets, it's actually right in line with that, or a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
A typical mountain bike rider runs a GPS unit on their handlebars, which is anywhere $200 to $400 or $500, and then they'll run a mountain bike light, a high-power mountain bike light that's $400 or $500. So this combines those two devices and kind of puts you in line.
If you're going to convince a hiker, like, hey, next time, you've gotten lost before, whatever, this is why you need Fogo, what's kind of the one sentence of how you'll convince that person?
So for the backpackers, they're already carrying this. They're pretty safe, like the savvy ones. So this just makes it more convenient for them.
Got it.
It is an education push to say, now these day hikers that I don't need a flashlight, I'm not going to carry this, I'm going to be gone 2 hours. It is an education push to convince them, but now this is more convenient, it's easier, you don't have to find multiple devices, so it's just an easier step to safety for them.
Well, and it's a tracker, and it's a map, and it's other things.
Thank you.
What other smart caps do you envision?
So
as Tyler mentioned, we're thinking about an avalanche beacon smart cap. We're thinking about a dive smart cap that can integrate with scuba systems.
A satellite modem. This is a standalone product, but a satellite modem that sends and receives text messages in space. But that's a common thing for people that are really out there and go out by themselves or just in very small groups.
Possibly a rangefinder too for shooting applications and stuff like that.
Do you have any kind of features or plans for automatic alerts? Guy gets lost in canyon, dude who had the boulder fall on his arm, that kind of thing. Anyway, that says as the battery on this starts to die.
So, there's several ways to approach that. One is kind of like a positive feedback system. If somebody is tracking their motion and they stop, we can say, okay, hey, you stopped. What's going on? Or you're okay, and they stop tracking. And if after 10 seconds they're still stopped there, then okay, this is a signal something's wrong. We need to send out a message. And in that case, a false positive is better than not sending something when you're a boulder's on your arm.
We have the intention, since we have Bluetooth, we can connect to a smartphone, and we have the intention to be able to send out text messages through the smartphone, or obviously through the satellite modem as well. So not only can that alert message be sent by two-way radio, but we could send through text message or satellite modem.
How much time do you guys spend playing Tetris on the little Fogo?
Yeah, I've a fair amount of my whole life, my adult life less so, but I got a lot of hours logged.
I got a question. How long has this been in development?
So the software we've been developing for about 5 years. It was like a general purpose embedded systems operating system that's app based on inexpensive hardware. This concept we've been working on for a year.
Great.
And how many of these units have you made?
5.
What's your BOM?
For the low end, entry level, it's about $50 up to $100 for the higher end.
How many customers have taken this out in the field?
To go back to the
One, we're really launching now and really just getting out to the public now. So that'll be something we do more going forward. But I mean, that was Dustin's handiwork on the mountain bike.
Yeah, took it out on the trail. It did really well. Didn't break. Light worked fantastically.
We had to keep
but we
some
got a
blockers
lot more
away.
testing to do for sure.
Very cool.
Cool.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
that was Fogo.
Thank you.